go live button right now. Let's see what happens. Okay, it says I'm live. I indeed appear to be live. Please say hello to let me know if I am. YouTube has a new system. It's called the live control room, I think. And it's quite different from the way it used to be because I had been using the old way to go live. The old way to go live was you would set it up. It would sit there doing nothing. You would click start streaming and it would start streaming eventually. Now, the way it works is you click live and then it's not actually live until you click go live. That's not what was happening. Something else was happening. And I think, embarrassingly, I hit start recording twice when it should have been start streaming. Okay. First of all, let me explain the title of the video because I'm not quitting YouTube. That's not what I meant. I'm sorry. It's not even clickbait. I knew what I was doing midway through. I realized it, but then I thought, but that's what I'm doing. I quit YouTube and I want to give you an update on my quitting of watching YouTube, not actually quitting YouTube. I don't think I would ever quit live streaming. I like it too much. All right. Let me explain. About 3 weeks ago, I'll just recap, okay? About 3 weeks ago, I was making a shelf and I was watching a random YouTube video like I always was doing at the time. And something came up in my feed that was the effect of high-speed porn on the brain. And I absolutely love porn. That's not what I meant to say. Absolutely love brain stuff. So I started watching it thinking, oh, it's probably going to be a religious thing. No, this is not clickbait. Guys, not clickbait. I quit YouTube. Not streaming. I didn't quit YouTube. Guys, calm down. Why would I quit YouTube? It makes no sense to quit YouTube. All right. Whatever gets you guys in here, because this was life-changing for me and maybe it'll be life-changing for you. But if you had watched that video, you would know that that's not what I mean. I meant that I'm not quitting YouTube, that I've quit watching YouTube. Anyway, let me just summarize what happened. 3 weeks ago, I watched a video on the effects of high-speed porn on the brain. Turns out it's bad. I'm giving you the summary. Watch more. If you want more information, watch the prior video. So I quit watching porn. I didn't quit masturbation. I quit porn. I had initially considered quitting masturbation, but let's admit that's a little bit too hard. That would be a little bit too difficult, wouldn't it be? Guys, you know, it's a thing we have to do, right? You just don't have to do it with porn. But I've got years of watching porn, right? So I've built up quite a tolerance to it. But anyway, what happens is when you watch porn like that, long story short, you put out a bunch of dopamine. It's unnatural because you can constantly change the woman. It's a super just maxed out dopamine. It's all of the amazing parts of sex without any of the work, right? So, turn my mic down a little bit. So I stopped it. And the next video that came up after that video talked about dopamine fasting, where you stop using you stop generating a bunch of dopamine. And I started that too. So what I did in my life was I quit YouTube. I used to watch YouTube in the bathtub. I used to watch YouTube before I went to bed, and it would just be on autoplay all the time. I'd always have something on in the background. I watched a ton of Netflix and a ton of news I would listen to all the time. And that was my life. Even in the car, even when I was walking, even when I was exercising, there was no moment where I just sat there and zoned out. In my bathtub, I used to have an iPad that just sat on a little stand. That stands in my room now. And I watched like 4 seasons of Cheers in the bathtub in the last 2 months, right? Just sitting here in the bath. So I stopped that. And the reason why I stopped was because the effect of constantly ramping up your dopamine means that your body begins to downregulate on the dopamine receptors. And one of the 2 things that they said made me think hard about why I wanted to stop. One was they said that your memory gets worse. They say that it leads to depression, and that everyday work is not exciting anymore. So it leads to a lot more procrastination. Well, I have all those things. I don't have a ton of depression right now, but in the past I've had depression. And there's another thing that happened. There's another thing that happens with that, but it's a little bit too for me to talk about, so I don't want to talk about it. But let's just say that that's been fixed. So I'm 3 weeks in. I'm still doing all of the man things that I do, but let's talk about some of the good things and the bad things that have happened. Number one, I'm extremely happy that I'm not watching these distractions. It's amazing. It's actually amazing. I worked with Kanako today on book 5 for, before I realized it, almost 4 hours. And normally when I'm working on book 5, I get exhausted. Like mentally, I just don't want to do it anymore. But I wanted to keep going. And then I just realized, oh, the time had gotten pretty late. And we had finished the lesson. So I thought it's a good time to break. But normally I would do maybe 1 grammar point, 2 grammar points, and then be like, I'm done. So my level of concentration has increased a lot. And my stamina, because I think it's just because I'm not constantly switching gears. What I do now pretty much every day is I've modified the bathroom here in the office. I put weather stripping around the door, and I have a pitch black bathroom. And even though I have an Alexa, I want to say her name. We call her Jennifer when we talk about her. Even though I have one of those Amazon Jennifers in the bathroom, which I sometimes will still listen to an audiobook, which I've deemed a good thing because it's like reading. I normally don't have anything going on in there. So what I've been doing recently is I think I'm in the shower for maybe an hour and a half. I fill up a bathtub, I sit in there, and I don't do anything. I just think. Now, the first week and a half, maybe even the first, 10 days, I was trying to not think. My goal was to deprive my brain of thought. That is extremely hard and also slightly stressful because it's hard to do. So I would try, and then I would get into thinking about why I'm not thinking, and then I would start zoning off into something else. Well, then I realized that I would be better off just to let myself free think. So now I free think, and I basically will run through things that I've done in the day, run through things that I have to do, and it has been great, really great. It's like meditating, even though I'm not physically meditating. I guess it's kind of like meditating, but I'm not trying to be in the moment. I'm just randomly in the moment because I'm not even in the moment. I'm thinking about the future things that I need to do, and I'm thinking about things that I've done in the prior days. I'm thinking about how the Kansai Dialect course went down. I'm thinking about how it's going to release. I'm thinking about pricing. I'm thinking about all these things, and I'm in there for so long, easily an hour and a half sometimes. It's amazing. I come out extremely refreshed, and work has been way more fun for me, honestly. Let's get through more of the good things, and I'm gonna talk about some of the bad things. When I'm in my car, for the first 2 weeks, I was silent, no sound, totally loved it, not a problem. It sounds excruciating, but it's not, because thinking is something that we humans like to do. It's fundamental to our being. And I think, you always hear about these YouTubers. By the way, I'm not quitting YouTube for those of you that are arriving late. That's the title. It wasn't meant to scare you. It's I quit watching YouTube. And I also quit watching adult videos, and I quit listening to the news. And now I've lost my spot. So much for my concentration being better. But yeah, I was silent for the first couple weeks. And then randomly when I went in once, I've been practicing this new song on my karaoke machine. It's First Love by Utada Hikaru. So I was playing it from my phone, and then it started playing in the car. So for the last week and a half, I've been listening to Utada Hikaru the whole time. It's amazing. She's fantastic. Just listening to very chill music. So here's another effect that's happened. My music tastes have changed. So there's music that Mike rents a room here in the office, and there's music that Mike listens to that I think is dumb. used to think it's dumb. Now I'm totally into it. It's just this chill. There's a station on Spotify called Chill Out Classics. Do yourself a favor. It's amazing. Chill Out Classics. And then there's another one that I just found yesterday by mistake called Butter. It's just like smooth jazz. It's been amazing. So that's an unexpected change. I wouldn't call it good or bad, but other music just seems loud and obnoxious now because I think what happened is I've lowered, and I don't know, honestly, can I say something? Most of this could be because I don't really understand what's happening. It could be placebo effect. Like, I think it's happening, right? It's like that girl that drinks one drink and then goes, I am so drunk. Am I drunk? Oh my God, I'm drunk. When they're not drunk, right? So it could be that. But I am really enjoying super chill music right now. So that's a change. All right. Now, let's talk about one more amazing thing that happened just the other day. So, I've been married 24 years. 24 years. And I don't have sex with my wife. This is a statement of fact, okay? Not because I don't want to. It's just over time, after we had the kids, she would be breastfeeding the kids, and the hours got weird because she was constantly breastfeeding, and I was trying to work as a tour guide still at the time, and I needed to sleep. And I'm sensitive when I sleep. I wake up very easily. So I changed rooms, and I had my own room. And she was breastfeeding for like a year and a half. Then, even though she wasn't breastfeeding, your daughter, your kids, they wake up a lot, so they're calling for mommy, right? And by the time that was kind of cooling down, we had another kid, and then you repeated with another year and a half of breastfeeding, and now there's two children. So Yukari, my wife, used to sit in the hallway between. It was really between two rooms, but it was one. There's two rooms, and it doesn't matter because it eventually became both of the girls' independent rooms, but at the time they were in one room. So she didn't want to be in the room because she was reading a book, and she would sit out in the hallway. So my kids are like 20, and Mari is literally in basically 1 month going to be 21, crazy as that is, and Arisa's 17. So that's how long things have not been the way they were when we were married initially, right? When we first got married. So we don't have sex. And it's not that I don't love her. She's amazing. I love my wife. And it's not that I'm not attracted to her. I'm super attracted to her. And it's not that I don't like her body. I love her body. So there's all these things about it. The reality was I was watching hardcore porn. And it had the type of porn that I watch I'm not even particularly proud of, like the Japanese porn that I watch. Is like, Japanese porn, a lot of girls crying. It's horrible. It really is horrible. So that's extremely high dopamine levels. And my wife just wasn't making it. It wasn't exciting for me, right? Here's what happened though. Unexpected, right? I'm 3 weeks in, and I think it was yesterday or the day before. I always get on top of my wife. It's like a thing. If you're a kid, I apologize. But if you're married and you love your wife, and she's lying on the couch, you go over. It's like an extended hug. You get on top of her and you're just like, or you wrap your arm around her when she's on the floor reading a book or something like that. That's what I do, right? I'm not even reading the comments right now, so I apologize. I did that yesterday, and my heart started racing. It was really, really, really unexpected. I was like, what is happening? Why am I getting weirdly excited right now? And all I was doing what I normally do to my wife is just get on top of her. Because she's squishy. Women are squishy. And I was excited. And then I started getting a half, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, all this for nothing? For doing nothing? So that's a positive change. And I can say on the handling of my man business, that has changed completely because now I'm only using my head. I'm not using video. So it started out when I was imagining women to get excited for the release. God damn it, I hate talking about this. I'm sorry. But this is my private channel, and I honestly, truly think it's going to help somebody. So I'm just telling you what happened. Initially, it was hard because I had lost the ability to imagine a straight line. In other words, I was imagining a scene and then jumping and then jumping and then jumping. I constantly kept changing. Well, once I said, you know what, I can't do that because that's not real life. I don't want to keep changing the women that I'm imagining in my brain. So I started just imagining like one girl with a scenario from beginning to end, and that seemed to be helping. And then it got better and better, better. Now I'm pretty happy with my technique. Sorry. I'm not quitting YouTube. For those of you that are joining late, I apologize. I'm not quitting YouTube. Okay. I'm just quitting watching YouTube. Okay. So that's for me very positive. And I actually told my wife, you better be ready. I said, you better be ready because there might be some action coming here in a few days. I'm still not ready to commit to that. I'm still not ready. Not because I don't want to. It's just like I want to be really ready for it. Okay. So those are all amazing things. Concentration's been amazing. I do feel like my memory has increased significantly. I was singing a song the other night, and I sang a song I hadn't sung in a while. And I typically, by the way, memorize the numbers of the songs on my machine so I can just input them. And this one, I randomly just like punched in the number. I didn't even think about it. It was automatic, and it was the right song. And that's okay for some songs, but not for this one. It shouldn't have happened. So for some reason, I had remembered it, and now it's like stuck in my head. And yeah, I think there's other positive changes, but it might be too early to say them. But I do feel like I still get a little bit agitated, but I definitely talk longer. I talked with my wife. Actually, I talked with my daughter, Mari, who I generally don't talk to so long with because I get antsy and I just want to do something else. Not because I don't love her, but just because talking on the phone sucks with anybody. So I normally like to hang up. But I kept talking. I think I kept her on the phone. Sometimes we were just breathing. You know how that is. You're just like, just doing something here. I was putting a lock on my door. But I talked to her for, I think, 2 hours straight. Yesterday, I patched all the holes on my wall in my bedroom because I've been reforming my bedroom. I took all the equipment out of my bedroom because I moved here to the office. And I decided I'm going to make a very chill space for my room where I can just relax and read books with pillows and stuff. So I want no technology beyond my laptop sitting in there. So because I moved all my desk and stuff like that, I took all the equipment down. The wall was kind of damaged, and I just woke up in the morning, got up. I spent 2 hours repairing the wall. Then I painted the wall. Then I unprecedentedly cleaned up my mess and put it all back away. And then this morning I got up again and I did more work because I noticed spots that I hadn't really gotten the paint on properly. And then I cleaned up again. And the day before that, the day before I painted, I put that lock on my door. I put a new lock on my door. And that took about an hour and a half. And I cleaned up after myself. I don't think you understand how unprecedented that is. Because normally when I do something, I kind of leave it in half disrepair. I go to the bathroom, and when I'm in the bathroom, I sit there and I watch videos. And then I get tired, and then I take a nap. And then my wife will like, when are you going to clean this? It's like, honey, it's only been 2 days. I'll get to it. That hasn't happened. I've been very good. Okay, now, I'm dragging on. I'm sorry. Let's get to bad things. There's 2 bad things that I've noticed. One, I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole because, but this is typical of me. When I start something new, all of a sudden I have a high horse to stand on. It's like being vegan, and I'm like, you know, Arisa, if you'd stop watching YouTube, you'd have more concentration. Okay, it's just better for you. That's what happens to me. So but that you can handle. But what is irritating is when Arisa's in the room watching YouTube, and I realize how stupid it is. It is so dumb, including what you're watching right now. This is dumb. You might get something out of it, but what Arisa's watching is trash. And I love Arisa, and I know it's not trash to her, and I know she loves those YouTubers, and I get it. And it's extremely hypocritical of me because I'm on YouTube so much to say these things, okay? But when you're just watching, she was watching this video with 2 guys on the phone. They're on a couch, and I don't know who they are. There's one guy on the phone, and another guy's on the phone with the girl, and then this guy's listening, and he doesn't know what she's saying, but he's telling him what to say. But the audio wasn't good. It was like echoey in the room. He's a big YouTuber, apparently. I thought it was Shane Dawson because he sounded like Shane Dawson, but it wasn't. Anyway, I was getting irritated. That's the negative thing. I thought, can we turn this off? It is so irritating. I think normally I would have been irritated, but the fact that I've been not doing anything with YouTube, when YouTube pops up, like even my wife, when she's watching the news, I can't ignore it when she's listening to the news on her phone. And I said, could you please not be around me or put headphones on because it's taking up. When Arisa was watching that YouTube, I realized all my thought had to cease. In order for me to intake what that person was saying, even though I didn't want to hear it, it was painful. I had to stop thinking, which I was enjoying thinking on my own. How novel. So that's one negative thing. I don't enjoy YouTube. I guess that's not even a negative. It's a positive thing, but it's positive that I don't enjoy that sort of thing, so I avoid it now. And dude, there's been in the last, I think 3 times I've put on a YouTube video in the last week. I'll be like, because there was some headline that I hit, like when I log into YouTube, it'll say like Philip DeFranco. Like there's one right now that says YouTube why, and I'm like, oh, but I didn't click that one. I clicked one before it was like YouTube changes rules, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, that's important, right? I started watching it. I mean, I knew what it was. I was like, yeah, I'm not interested anymore, and I shut it down. Normally, I watch DeFranco all the way to the end. Love Philip DeFranco, but couldn't really get through it. I will say this though, the other night Yukari came here to the office. We have a huge TV here for the karaoke room with big speakers, so that's where we watch movies. And that was a little bit of a humble brag. Sorry, it's not even a humble brag. That was just a brag. I was bragging about how awesome my movie theater is here. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, we watched Aladdin, which by the way, I loved. But I realized I was so into the movie. I was really into the movie. I cried at one point. I cry in movies, so that's not even special. But I was really into the movie tremendously. And I enjoyed it. And then I watched all the special features. Aladdin has always been one of my favorite Disney movies. And there was some parts that were like, but really, I really, really enjoyed Aladdin. Almost 5 stars. Okay. One more negative thing. This is the biggest negative thing, and I'm still trying to tackle this problem. Throughout these 3 weeks, there's one thing I have not stopped doing, and that is playing SimCity. Build It on my phone. I am completely addicted to it. And I realized tonight there's a huge negative side effect of me blocking out all these other things or ceasing watching porn, ceasing watching YouTube, and thinking a lot has given me much better concentration, which is a positive. But I just spent 3 hours straight playing SimCity. My concentration was used on SimCity. So I had worked on book 5 for those 4 hours with Conoco. I went home and opened up the book again. I was working on the next lesson by myself, which again, I haven't done in a long time because normally I wait for Conoco to do an edit and then I come back and I clean up her edit and I add things with her. I don't typically do it on my own because it's boring. It's been boring for me. It's extremely boring to write a textbook. You need to understand that. That's why I make videos. It's easier and it's not boring. But I was doing that. And then I was done and I ate and I sat down. I opened up SimCity and I played 3 hours and I realized this is a negative. I have got to tackle this next thing where I delete SimCity from my phone. I have to. Once my City of Mayors contest is over. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. SimCity is so amazing as a game. But I realize now that the things that they're doing in the game are tripping up my dopamine. They're giving me the fix that my body wants. Just enough to keep me going. So that's the next thing I have to do. And I've done a couple more things. I've done a couple more things, 2 more things in my life that have been extremely beneficial. Number 1, I eat out every day. Literally every meal. Even though my wife is an amazing cook, I eat out every day. Every day, every meal. That's not even trivial. And a lot of times I'll treat somebody that's with me. I pretty much treat everybody that's with me. Mike, a friend. And it's just a thing that I do. Okay. Part of the reason is because I know that Mike couldn't afford to go out for every meal. So a way to get around him not being able to go because he would say no would be I would just pay for his meal every time. Now Mike's a good guy, so he's often said, I got this one, he'll take it. He doesn't take advantage of me. I fucking love Mike for those reasons. But I stopped doing that, and I made a rule that I can only eat out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I've got to keep. I didn't want to go cold turkey because I think that would be too much for me because it's such a huge part of my life. But for the last 4 days, I've only eaten here in the house. It's been fantastic. I went and bought stuff at the grocery store, and I've been eating here. It's been fantastic. And so one more change. I spend too much money. I spend a shit ton of money on things I don't need. When I moved all my clothing here to the office, because my closet in the house was just packed with clothing, so I moved majority of them here to the office because I'm only 5 minutes away, right? And I love the bath here. So what I'll do is I'll sleep at my house, but then I'll put my old clothing on. I'll come back here. I'll take a bath here because I freaking love the dark bathroom. I took all my clothing and I realized I have way too many clothing. And then the other day, because I have this no dopamine thing happening, I have so much concentration that I changed every hanger. It's almost like I'm on meth. I changed every hanger in my closet to these. Okay, so this hanger right here is 2 inches shorter down. So one of the reasons I was moving all the clothing here initially was I wanted to put a dresser in my closet in my house. And this is boring stuff, I apologize. But the hangers were too long, so all the clothing were like doing this. They were like doing this. But with these hangers, they hang properly. So I went to Organized Living and I bought a whole bunch of these hangers and I changed out over 100 hangers just one by one. And that's when I realized I have duplicates of clothing. I have so many clothing that I've got the same shirt 3 times. And I have like 10 Star Wars shirts that I bought when I went to Disneyland. And I realized I have a problem. So now my rule is I only shop on Mondays. Monday is the day when I can't even order online. I have a Monday shopping list on Amazon. I throw things into there. If you're someone that has relatively good income, you'll know what I'm talking about. You buy too many things. Okay. All right. So that's what's happening. A couple other updates though. Number one, I'm not quitting YouTube. I've quit watching YouTube, and the title is kind of dumb, but it made sense. I only realized a few minutes before that it was very clickbaity, and then I thought, you know what, I'll roll with it because it's not a lie. Okay, 2 more things. One, this logo in the back says Kansai Dialect from Zero. I indeed already have created a course called Kansai Dialect from Zero. I shot it with a 19-year-old Japanese girl that lives in Osaka. She was visiting here for 3 weeks. Every day I would pick her up after her English school and we would work through the PowerPoints. Eventually that turned into Kanako, who lives in Takarazuka in near Osaka. She then started taking what I needed to make and she put them into PowerPoints. So she got involved and then we'd refilm it. We filmed 20 super amazing solid lessons on Kansai dialect. It's not just Kansai dialect. It's also learning a lot about standard Japanese, because if you don't know how the standard Japanese works, you can't figure out how to use Kansai dialect. Kansai dialect is very important to getting good in Japanese because it's so prevalent in a big part of Japan. It has bled over into Tokyo, into TV, and into media. If you play games, if you watch drama, there's always going to be a character from that area speaking that style. And even Tokyo people will sometimes do it to be funny. Okay, so you do need to know it. Now, the videos also do tons of tweet analysis. So it's live analysis, standard Japanese, boning up of that. There's definitely some things that I haven't really talked about in videos yet. And then we throw it into Kansai dialect. So that's done. It's being edited now. I think it will be out. I'm not allowed to say these things anymore because I'm always wrong, but it'll be out this year. Probably by November. I have our new CTO is working on a website to sell it, and Mike's editing one every single day. I think he's up to like 3 or 4, and there's 20 videos. So that's where we're standing on that. Book 5 still on target. The Kansai dialect thing took about a month off, so I'm still thinking I would like it out in October, but it might end up being November. But I only have 3 lessons left to finish, and I am kind of on fire now with it, more than I have been in a long time, just because I have more concentration and more desire to do it, I guess. I know it seems weird. Why don't you just finish it? It's just easy, but it's not. When you don't have motivation to do something, when something's tedious and you're doing it just because the other person has more motivation and they're like, hey, we have to do this. Like, okay, all right, let's do it. Reluctantly, I work on it, you know. I love it, but I reluctantly work on it because it's boring. But it's because I'm not doing other things, it's less boring. All right, I'm repeating myself. All right, now Now let's look at some comments. Let's see how this new thing works here. Let me pop this out. Pop out chat. Okay, hopefully I didn't lose everything that you guys said. All right. Okay, let's see. Let's scroll up here. Okay. You were overindulging on fluff content, so it makes sense. Yes, thank you, DG Strom. That is true. Yes, it is meditating, says Incipital. Okay, yeah, it's real. I'm actually probably gonna just hop into the bath after this. Honestly, I love it. Okay, here we go. Mr. AMMW says, I don't think it's a good idea to starve yourself of fun things. If you do that too much, you'll just give up and ruin your discipline. Balance is really important. Okay, I agree, but I don't feel like I've given up anything. I feel like I've given up things that it's like smoking. When you give up, when you want a cigarette, you do it because you're addicted. You need so you get agitated and the cigarette brings you back down, right? It feeds the addiction. I think that's exactly what my YouTube thing was. It's like, I don't need that. You know how much PewDiePie I was watching? I actually quit PewDiePie before I quit this. Once he moved to Minecraft, I just got bored out of my skull because I don't know anything about Minecraft. There's a lot of inside jokes. But I do not need to know about all these things that are happening on YouTube. I don't need to know the drama. It doesn't help me in any way. And the other thing was the news was all Trump this, Trump that. Now, when I would pop in once every week, I had been like just hitting the news, looking at the titles only. Oh my God, it's dumb. Like, I didn't even know there was a hurricane. And then I saw all of a sudden there was a hurricane. And then the next line was like, Trump, what did he say? Like, Trump maintains that he was right about hurricane, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, he's so stupid. He's so stupid. Like, either that or the media is just purely against him. Either way, the headline was dumb. And I was like, this doesn't help my life. Okay. Now, I want to point out, I'm not giving up the fun stuff. I'm still masturbating, which is one of my favorite things to do. Sorry to say. Anyone that says they don't masturbate is lying. And anyone that says they don't enjoy it is lying. Or is a very, very rare exception, is an outlier, okay? So if you have a graph of people, they all masturbate except for these people on the outer edges, okay? So I'm not giving up on that. I'm still eating sweets. I'm still drinking Diet Coke. I'm still singing karaoke. And keep in mind, I was still playing SimCity, which I've just got to quit that because that's a time sink. That I really enjoy, but it is so meaningless in the scope of life. So for that, I disagree with you, Mr. AMMW. Okay, Mr. AMMW says that why the porn though? It's not like you watch that all the time. You're right, I don't. But look for a video on the effects of high-speed porn on the brain. It affects every other part of your life because when you have sex, whether it's masturbation or with a person, when you eat food, your dopamine goes up like this much. But when you have sex, it's up double of food. So if you're constantly maintaining high dopamine, it's like insulin. If you constantly push insulin into your system, you get insulin resistant and you get diabetes. What was happening with me was I was getting, I wasn't getting for sure. I definitely had dopamine resistance, right? So for me, my intake of dopamine wasn't being received. I wasn't taking in the dopamine that was being put out. So the body puts out more and more and more. It's a vicious cycle. So look, I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about that sort of thing, but I've read a lot on the brain. And the book that I'm listening to now was recommended by that video, and it's been fantastic. Learning about how the brain is plastic. Look up neuroplasticity, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I don't know anything. I'm giving you all that anecdotal evidence right now that I do not feel. I don't feel like I've taken anything away. I feel like I've gained so much. I really am not even making this video. I'm not even making this video to try to like cheer myself on, right? I'm literally making this video because I realized after playing SimCity for 3 hours that there's a danger with what I've done, that it can go both ways. I could apply my new concentration towards my work, or I could totally just become a gamer. And I don't want to do that. Digistrom says, I think you were consuming a lot of mid-low quality content. Yeah, now, I agree. I do think it's not a problem to watch YouTube, but I think it should be things that I want to learn and get better at. For example, a good example would be when I put a new dimmer on these lights, I did so by watching a YouTube video. Okay? When I learned how to do that, I should say. Like, for example, I can now go, Alexa, set studio track to, oh, actually, is this studio track? What is this? Which one is this one called? Studio track doesn't support that. Yeah, sorry. Alexa, set room track to 10%. Maybe it was already at 10%. Alexa, set room track to 100%. Alexa, set room track to 10%. You see that? I learned how to do that. I learned how to put those in by watching. I did watch a guy do it, and then I also watched another guy on YouTube. I watched a real guy do it who was helping me out when I first bought the office. But then I watched a lot more YouTube videos, not to shock myself, because I kept shocking myself. And then at one point, I busted out the one of the outlets in the bathroom. I was replacing it with a USB combined outlet, and when I was done, I was screwing it back in, and I busted the screw off into the outlet casing, so I had to replace it. And I had to go on YouTube to figure out why I couldn't pull it out, because there was like a nail. The way that they install it is when the wall's not up yet, they put nails in. It's like a super quickie way to install. I didn't know that, so I had to get like a saw and saw it. But I learned that from YouTube. I think YouTube is extremely beneficial in that. And I'll say this, self-promotion here. But if you're learning Japanese, of course you should watch Japanese from Zero. Of course you should watch Risa-chan on Japanese Pod 101 or Japanese Amo Misa or any of the, like, of course, that makes sense, right? Because it's supporting your goal. But if you're just watching, hey guys, Jeffree Star here, we're just going to be doing a tour of my house. I'm going to show you how rich I am. Yeah, it's a little bit entertaining, but it's hi, Shane Dawson here, guys, it's all my stuff my daughter watches. Today I bought a $10,000 ticket on an airplane. And even Mr. Beast, who I love, I bought a car with 14 million pennies. What do you get out of that? It's just pure entertainment. I would rather watch a movie, I guess, or TV on a certain time. Yeah, anyway. All right. Digistrom says again, my married friend had the same experience. He stopped watching it because it messed with his real life. Yeah. Watching porn, I did not realize it was going to be this good. And I actually don't think I'm there yet. I think I'm still in the very, very early stages. I mean, I have years of built up dopamine, issues probably. I like I said, I don't really know. But I think give myself like 2-3 months, because a lot of the studies in the book that I'm reading, which I'll tell you again because I said it the other day. Give me a second. It's an audio book on Audible, which I love. Hopefully they'll sponsor me one day when I'm not talking about my masturbation. It's called The Brain That Changes Itself by Norman Doidge. The Brain That Changes Itself. It's really, really fascinating book. It really will make you think about what you're doing. All right. Quitting watching your videos too. No, man. I just said no. F1 for Help said, I love this kind of openness. I wish I could ever speak out loud about things like, it's rough because I'm actually not telling you everything, right? I'm just telling you the parts that I feel like I'm comfortable with. I'm pretty open with everybody. I'm open with my daughters. I'm open with my wife. I mean, and even at the beginning of it, I was like, Yukari, I just want to let you know I'm quitting watching porn. She's like, whatever. She knows. She's been married to me for 24 years. She knows if my door is locked, I'm watching porn. It's just a thing that I do. But I actually am so excited if someone asks me, do I watch porn? I'll say, no, I don't watch porn. And I'm not even on a high horse. I gotta say, I was tempted the other day. I pulled out a hard drive, and I was transferring files, and I saw this folder called AV-TNT1, and I remember it was some folder that I downloaded, some BitTorrent of a bunch. This is an old folder, okay, because I haven't BitTorrented in a million years. But when I went to Korea once, because Korea doesn't allow porn to be streamed on the internet, they block it countrywide. I brought a bunch of porn. It's the one time that I needed to have a bunch of porn downloaded in the recent history. And I was like, oh man, I remember this. I didn't know. I didn't delete it either. I didn't delete it. I didn't even think, the funny thing is I didn't even think to delete it. I just left it on the hard drive and I put the hard drive back. Yeah, I was tempted. I ain't even gonna lie. But I didn't want to ruin, I didn't want to ruin the progress I'd already made. Zedhorse, are you really quitting YouTube? If so, where will we? No, I'm not going to be on Pornhub. No, Zedhorse, I'm not quitting YouTube. I quit watching YouTube. Sorry, very clickbaity of me, half on purpose. Zedhorse said, I would recommend watching G Japanese Korean shows. Not sure what that means. Delete all game apps on your phone. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. It's weird. Right now I'm in the middle of a City of Mayors contest. It's my third one. I won the last one. I was the grand prize and I won second place in the one prior to that. So I kind of want to win this third one. I need a place to stop, and I think that's the place to stop. There's 3 more days left on this City of Mayors tournament. I'll win it. I'll collect my game. And the fun thing for me, I know, is even if I delete the game, I know my data is stored on Facebook somewhere. So when I log back into Facebook through the game, I'll be able to get it back if I ever decide I want to go back to it. So I'm not really giving up much, but I really need the time. I've been wasting too much time on it. I've been extremely productive despite that, because of the other things. But now I've noticed that because I have so much concentration, wow, can I put a lot of energy into SimCity. If I would have spent 3 hours on book 5, I probably would have been done with less than 10 by then. Okay, Dance114 says, LOL, SimCity is freaking awesome. City Skylines as well. I don't know what that is, the other game, but yeah, SimCity is amazing. DD Strom again says, I do everything in moderation and follow good content on YouTube, not dumb kids vlogging. Good. And Sipitol says, not watching porn is the best choice. Playing games is fine, especially in the transition period. SM says, I feel like you boned your wife. If you boned your wife, all these problems would vanish. You're probably right. Now, here's the thing about my wife. She's 8 years older than me, and she's already went through menopause. So I don't even gotta worry about getting her pregnant. Just saying. Oh, hey. Oh, no. You can come inside. No, it's fine. No, come inside. You can sit right here. Come inside and sit right here. Oh, no, it's cool. Yeah, I understand. You want to come inside. But right now, okay. No, later. Okay, that's fine. We'll come inside. You can come inside later. All right. Mame Sushi 136 says, you can't be that perfect human who makes how I achieved a perfect life kind of videos. Just make up a schedule so you stop playing the game. Maybe 30 minutes a day. It's fun to have fun. Okay. Mame Sushi, not trying to be perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. And I'm not doing this to, I'm not trying to score internet points here or I would have done it on the other channel. I'm not trying to be perfect. I just want to accomplish the things that I'm trying to build. You don't know, well, maybe you do if you watch enough videos. There's so many things I'm trying to accomplish that I'm sabotaging myself. And only where I am now do I realize how wrong I was. Only now that I've stopped for the 3 weeks. Like, I think tomorrow will be the official end of the 3rd week. Only now do I realize, oh my God, how different it was. And I honestly can't believe how fast I was able to change. It's amazing that I just want you to think about it for a second. I went from always watching porn to never watching porn. I went from always watching YouTube to never watching YouTube. I went to always listening to the news to not listening to the news ever. Okay, I'm not trying to be ignorant, but I will still watch every now and then. I'm sure I'll do catch ups. I don't know what I'm going to do about Mark and George show because that show is news based, and I'm not going to have the information that I normally have going in. Okay, and on top of that, I used to eat out every day, 3 meals. Okay, now I'm eating out. Today is the first day since I started that particular thing where I can eat out, but I'm not even thinking I want to eat out, which will save me money. So I'm doing a lot of changes at once, but it's been very easy. Normally when I make one change, I always say, well, I'm going to keep the other things because it's too hard to make one. I normally I would have quit porn and then I would have quit YouTube and then I would have quit something, the other thing. But I did it all together and it seems like it's been fine. Right? All right. I do wish I wouldn't get irritated when when someone else is watching YouTube. It just really bothers me. I really get on my high horse. And I actually apologized to Arisa earlier. I was like, "Hey, honey, I'm sorry that I talked bad about your YouTube guy. I don't mean to be on my high horse. I did it for ever longer than you've been alive. Probably I've been doing stuff like that, and I have no right to really tell you that. And I apologized. And I'm gonna try to keep my morals to myself, and I'll live by a good example. I'll lead by example, and maybe in 10 years, Arisa will remember that her dad did that, and it'll help her out. I don't expect her to do it today. I don't expect Mari to learn from me today. I don't think Mari needs to learn anything from me anymore. For the record, she's an adult now. Arnaud Soya says, I gave up browsing Reddit every day and replaced it with learning Japanese. Best choice ever. It's funny. I actually gave up browsing Reddit myself. I was really too much into Reddit. I haven't browsed Reddit in a heck of a long time. Sorry guys, it's like 5 a.m. I've been going here for like an hour, I think.
Hello? I'm not hearing you here, but I'm also not hearing you on the video anymore. Your audio is failing everywhere.
Uh, hmm. Okay. Well, that fixed it. I had to close down OBS. Hopefully the stream is back on. I'm not sure. Looks like there's quite a delay. I'm still watching myself. I'm watching myself. All right. It's back. That's cool. All right. Sorry about that. I'm having issues every now and then. I might have to reinstall OBS because it seems to be an OBS problem where it just loses audio. Yeah, you lost five. Did you lose? Was I talking for 5 minutes? Was I really talking for 5 minutes? Let's see. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm just following up on the comments of everyone telling me that that the mic is down. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying. I was talking about video games. I was saying I had a problem before with StarCraft, and the only way that I was able to stop it, it was StarCraft 2, and I was completely engulfed in it every single day. I did it so much that my dreams were always StarCraft. I was going through the campaigns, and then I started online playing, and I truly love StarCraft. Till this day, I still every now and then go, oh man, I really want to play StarCraft, but I don't. The way that I stopped was, back then you used to have a disc, and I didn't stop. I didn't say I'm going to stop because that would be too hard. But I just made a rule that I put the disc up on a nail right near my ceiling. And the only way to reach the nail, because I'm not that tall, was to get up on my desk. And I would get up on the desk every time I wanted to. When I was done, I had to put it up on that nail. And when I wanted to play, I had to take it down. Now you don't need that anymore. You don't need the disc anymore. But back then you needed it. And that actually helped me stop. Can I start from the beginning, please? Yes. Hey, guys. George Trombley. I just want to let you know I'm quitting YouTube. All right, see you guys later. Bye. Not really. I quit watching YouTube. That's the title, for the record. Okay? If you have any questions, I'll answer them now. Because I'm getting ready to go. I'm going to take a brief 6-7 hour nap after I take a bath. And Ciprital says, I quit smoking with cigarette present. With cigarettes present. Yeah. I'm glad you quit smoking, Mark. Good stuff. For me, there's a couple more things I want to try to figure out how to do. I do want to figure out how to get to the gym 3 times a week without having a trainer. Because it's so expensive to have a trainer. The only time I was really able to maintain going to the gym a lot was when I was paying a trainer $100 an hour. That's when I was able to maintain it. Aw, Melanie just arrived. I finished 2 book series and lost motivation. Don't really know where to go from there. Dalton, Dalton, do you mean you finished the book series? I assume that's a typo. You mean Japanese from Zero? Well, I know where you can go next. And by the way, I'm zipping up my pants right now. Randomly, I just noticed my fly was down. I didn't mean that's where you could go next. I really didn't. That would have been a funny joke, though. Luckily, that wasn't on camera, me and my fly being down. You could do the Kansai Dialect from Zero course. It's getting ready to come out. 20 solid videos. I don't know how many hours yet. I think it's definitely between 6 and 8 hours of content, but I'm not exactly sure because Mike hasn't finished the edit. Also, book 5. Book 5 should be out pretty soon. And Kanji from Zero. The next thing I'm going to be putting all my energy in is Kanji from Zero 2, 3, 4, and 5, which are in such a close state of being done. It sucks in my head that they're not out, but they're only at like framework state. They're not. All the meat isn't in there yet. The meat is in there. The meat is in there, but not the originality meat. It's just like, this is kanji. These are the words you can use, but there's no interesting facts in there. Get a training partner so you hold each other responsible. So I do have a training partner. Her name is Kathy. Kathy's my best friend. The problem is she goes every day at super early in the morning, which I'm not yet able to commit to. And also, she doesn't need me. I need her. She doesn't need me. And if I don't go, she gets weird about it, and then she never calls me. She doesn't care. So it doesn't work out. Does anyone else hear static or popping? Yeah, I'm probably maxing out. I'll turn my mic down just a bit. What about book 4 videos? You know what? This, you might hate what I'm getting ready to say. I think right now I'm looking at not releasing them for free. I'm considering saying, you know what? I've already given out 3 free video courses, and I feel like I've proved the worth of those videos. So I think what I'll do is, when I finish the revisions on book 4 and when 5 is out, I'll just say, hey, here's a video course you can buy in addition to the books, because got to make money. We have a lot of expenses here at the company. I mean, we now have this large office, and the quality has gone up because of that. And I've also, you know, in the last year, we've hired 3 new people full time, and it's a burden. And so I've got to figure out how to make something to sell that doesn't take 2 to 3 years to make, like a book, and that's video courses. So I'm not going to get rid of the free videos that I make. I'm still going to make a bunch of free videos. It's just what I like to do. Still going to do Polyglot George, where we have these awesome videos from Japan. Eventually I'll do the Korean from Zero stuff videos, but I think course 4 and 5 don't need to be free. I don't need to give away everything. How much will the Kansai Dialect course cost? You know, it's not decided yet. It's a tough question. I've been analyzing what other courses sell for in a variety of fields. Mike has bought a variety of courses, so I've talked to him about it. I've talked to people that have made courses. I've talked to Ken Cannon. Now, Ken Cannon, that's all he does is make courses. So right now, I'm looking at $150, and I don't think it'll be any more than that. But I had debated going higher than that. That seems pretty reasonable to me. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what I offer in the very beginning. If I can get book 5 out, if I can get book 5 ready, I would probably include book 5 for free for anyone that bought Kansai from Zero. I did have one idea where I would give away a pre-release edition of book 5 because it's almost done. It wouldn't have all the lessons, but it would be as much as we've got so far. But then I think it's too close to the actual release date to do that. So Alex says short videos on YouTube, full vids on Patreon. I'm not going to do Patreon. I think I'm going to actually quit the Patreon because I don't do enough on it. Is that what Dogen does? Dogen style? Yeah. Will the video course be pay per one viewing or buy it once and watch it forever? You buy it once and watch it forever. You would have access to it. And so here's what's going to happen. In the end, it'll be 22 videos, but I only count the lesson videos, which are 20. There's like an intro video and then a video about explaining the Kansai area, explaining the intricacies of Kansai dialect without teaching it. And I don't want to add that into I don't add that into the material count. Okay. So 20 videos, and eventually there'll be audio that you can download. Eventually you can download the PowerPoints and you can download some workbook material. But in the beginning, that won't be there. But anyone that has bought it once will always have access, just like you have it'll be like access to yesjapan.com. It'll be like that. So you'll buy access to wherever it is. It might be on fromzero.com. It might be yesjapan.com/Kansai. It might be somewhere on a website that is not even run by us, but run by someone else. But you would have permanent access. So any additional videos that I make, you'd be grandfathered in. If I raise the price high, you'd still get it you'd still have it. You wouldn't have to pay for any more content unless I release a whole new course unrelated to that. That's what I'm doing. I would never do pay per one viewing. That's not my style. What's my feelings on YouTube taking away verified channel checks? Ginger, can you explain to me what that is? I have not been watching. That must be the headline that I saw when I logged into this account today. It said YouTube why, and I don't know what they did. What does that mean? So there used to be checks on a channel. Was I verified? I don't even know. I don't think I ever was verified anyway. I wouldn't pay for a course unless it contains everything from the book. Yeah, so SM, I am fully aware that not everyone will buy the course. But I've also talked to people that make a ton of money with video courses. And I'm definitely leaving money on the table that I could use to continue build what we're building here. So, I mean, I'm just being honest, right? It's a business thing. If I told you there was a way for you to make thousands of dollars that you don't have currently in your revenue, and even though it would be a spike instead of a steady like the books, I think you would want to do it. And I talked with Ken Cannon many, many times on this. Ken Cannon is the guy that does Japanese through anime course, and he's very successful about it. And he told me how Katsumoto, regardless of what happened with both of them, apparently even Katsumoto didn't deliver on something. I don't know I don't really know what happened, and I don't even understand fully what happened with Ken. Ken had told me that he had sold his first course that he sold a year of content, and midway through he stopped providing that content, and that caused issues for him. Now he doesn't do that anymore. Now he releases content, and he doesn't commit for a year. Okay. But regardless of what happened with them, they were successful in what they did. They just fucked up the delivery of it, right? I will not fuck up the delivery because I've already made the course. I will not promise any live interaction with me in the course. There will be nothing promised that isn't already there when you buy the course. So when you pay your $150, you get access immediately to everything. Okay. The only thing that you might not get would be the book that would have to be sent to you, but I wouldn't even offer it if I didn't have to give it to you. I learned that I owe a lot to Ken for telling me his experience with his fuck up, because now I know I should never, and I wouldn't have anyway because it's not my style. I promise a lot, for the record. I've made promises on Book 5 release. I've made promises on releasing every Georgian Keiko, and I don't fulfill them, but there's no money on the line. So when there's money on the line, and that's why you never see me, for example, do pre-order. I could make a shit ton of money doing pre-order for Book 5, but I'm not going to, because I know I could easily delay that another 2-3 months. So you won't have that with me. When you buy it, you're gonna get it all. There's no live interaction with me. In a sense, I would make more money if I promised, for $300 you get the course and 3 sessions with me and Ami-chan working on your Kansai dialect. I'm not doing that. That's too much work, too much stress, and too easy for me to fuck it up, honestly, with scheduling and whatnot. In the Kansai book, what does the book start with? If not going to be relearning hiragana, right? It is not Japanese from zero. It's Kansai dialect from zero. So Japanese from zero is required to do Kansai from zero. You must already have a basic understanding of Japanese. That being said, I make sure that before we talk about anything in Kansai, I give a concise explanation and sometimes a new style of explanation of the way the grammar works in standard Japanese. Then I say, here's how it works in Kansai dialect. It's actually, it's weird to say this, but I almost feel like it's 60% not Kansai dialect. We start a video concept with teaching a Kansai dialect concept. But then when we start getting into the tweets that have the Kansai dialect, people that speak Kansai dialect it's not a different language. It's Japanese with a twist. It's like putting lemon and cream in a Coca-Cola. It's a different style of Japanese. And there are different endings to the words. There's different grammar for how you conjugate the verbs. And there's actually solid grammar for Kansai dialect. And there's solid verb differences. So there's quite a few verbs that are different. There's words that are completely different that if you heard it, you wouldn't understand it. There are verbs that are the exact same verb, completely different meaning in Kansai. Okay? So when we get to the tweets, not only we're explaining that, but you're learning just the nature of me, the way that I'm teaching Kansai dialect. You need to know how Japanese standard works before you can move into the Kansai dialect. So I think 60% of the course is like stuff. We're doing stuff that I haven't released in book 5 yet that I talk about because it's part of the Kansai dialect. Because it's such a big part of Kansai dialect and you'll hear it, I have to explain it and then I have to go through how it works in standard. So that's why the videos are solid. I think they're solid because I'm not just teaching Kansai dialect. Because Kansai people are a variety of people. Some of them only speak 10% Kansai dialect. Because in their daily lives, they use standard. In their school, they use standard. So Kansai dialect is merely a dialect that is spoken only. It's not like if you go to North Korea and South Korea, they literally teach a different version of Korean. It's not completely different, but South Korea made changes to the language that that North Korea didn't make, so that makes changes. That made changes, right? And English in England and English in America are significantly different in many ways, right? So if you learned the Queen's English, you'd say fringe instead of bangs. You'd say trolley instead of truck, flat instead of apartment. Those are easy changes. Kansai dialect's even more. But it's not an official language, so it's blended with it. So no, I would not be teaching hiragana. You literally already have to know hiragana. All of the kanji that we're using has furigana on top of it. But I explain everything. There's nothing that I leave in the dark when we're going through the tweets. I don't go, we all know this. You know me, I'm going to teach you what's in that tweet as if I was doing that, like a video I did the other day where I went through a tweet. It's like that. But there happens to be some Kansai dialect inside of it. All right, Ginger Guidance said they're taking away most verifications for even big channels and everyone was freaking out about it. I'm sure they have a reason. Start your own Italki Japanese no. Anytime I don't want to do any direct having to teach. Retro Nick says, to be honest, if you made it to book 4, you probably find value in paying for book 4 vids. That's what I think. I agree. The requirements to be verified are a lot higher now, despite the true purpose of verification being ignored and the rampancy of imitations not going down anytime soon. It's interesting. I like hearing about the news from people instead of YouTube. It's kind of nice. It's nice. David Williams says, book and videos for $150? Still a great deal. David, yeah, that would only be book 5. There is no Kansai dialect from 0 book yet. I would like to make one, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as big as Japanese from 0 because Kansai dialect includes Japanese standard. So the video shaky, that's me doing this. I'm sorry. Have I watched anything on the Area 51 raid? Did they do it? No, they didn't. I remember before. Oh my God. Did they raid? Oh my God. Please let me know. And if you die, there will be no refund if video series is not completed. By the way, who would be teaching Japanese after your death? Good point. Yeah, Zed Horse. Yeah, exactly. If you buy it, you get it. That's how it works. Who would be teaching after my death? I don't know. Arisa, okay, Arisa, because of Arisa's TikTok, I don't know if you guys watched the video called Arisa from Zero on the Japanese from Zero channel. It was a live with her. Arisa made a TikTok. Long story short, she blew up and now has like almost 40,000 followers on TikTok. And her second biggest video is one talking about our books and talking about learning Japanese from our channel. And I added 9,000 subscribers in 4 days. Crazy. 9,000 because my daughter. I've never had this level of awesome marketing ever. She nailed it. It's perfect. A cute, young Asian girl promoting my series and saying my parents wrote this book. I mean, there's something magical about that approach. And she did it all on her own. All of a sudden, it was like, boom, 5,000 new people in one day. All in all, still 9,000 added. Retro Nick said, what happened to the Yes Japan video archive? Everything is gone. Yes, it is gone. I wasn't aware that it had already been taken down. We are transitioning to a new website, and part of that transition is making the current website solid. There was too many issues with the video archive, so we removed it. Let me just double check. I haven't been up on the website. That's our new CTO doing it. Oh, yeah. No, actually, this was me the other day. I removed it. Yeah, sorry. Yep. It's just part of the migration out of our bad website. Most of the stuff's on YouTube. Most of it. What were you watching that you wanted to watch more of? And let me know, and I'll try to find a way to upload it. Retro Nick. James says, as I said before, your Twitter analysis was great. Thanks for the video. Yeah, I think I finally found a medium that works. Doing the video analysis was too much. It took too long. But you could do a really amazing Twitter analysis. So I have more of those coming. I have a really fun one I'm working on. I think I'll be able to make tomorrow night. I'd like to do one at least every 3 days. But this next one, I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to start coming up with some fun topics that people have talked about. I'm going to try to find interesting ones. Are there any updates on Kanji from 02? I did just say an update, Ginger. Kanji from 02, 3, and 4 are, 70% done. We just need to go back and add the customization. The meat and potatoes are in there. Like the all of the kanji are in the book, all of the orders there, all of the exercises are already there. Just not the kanji usage and the kanji mnemonics that we're working on. All next, I think all of them will come out next year. After book 5 is out. I think, no promises. I think. And Sipatel, I don't think there will ever be a Kansai Ben from 02. I don't think it will ever happen. Because I really covered everything that I could think of. I don't think there's enough meat left on the Kansai bone to make another series. What about French? You still want to learn it? I don't think so. No, I do. I still want to learn French. Okay, so there was/is a live stream on Area 51. Okay. Well, I'm not going to watch it, but I'd like to hear what happened. Hi. I'm just finishing up book 1 at the moment. I would definitely pay for the courses knowing the value I've gotten so far. That's good to know. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Have you ever thought of making short skits with transcripts, videos to scale? For sale. I thought about it. Let's just call it that. It's so much work. Making the skit isn't hard. It's filming the skit. Like designing the dialogue is not hard. It's filming it really hard. Now we now have this office is like 2,200 square feet. We have a ton of space. We have a ton of locations we can shoot in. We have lighting. We have cameras. I don't have the actors to do it, and I don't have the time nor desire yet to make something like that. And I think it would be cheesy, right? There is one thing I do want to do. When I write sentences with Kaneko in book 5, I wish I was recording it every time because I laugh so hard. It's so fun. Like we were working on a short dialogue for lesson 9, and there's this lady saying, did you hear about the murder? They're talking about a murder because this whole topic in the book is about the end reading comprehension. You're given a murder case, and then you're giving 3 suspects, and you have to figure out based on the information that the suspects provided and the facts of the case, you have to determine who the killer is. It's really fun. Book 5 is fun, for the record, okay? I mean, all the books are fun, but I think because your Japanese level is higher now, we can do more with it. So you're trying to figure out who the killer is. So there's a lot of words with murder. So we use those words also in the short dialogue, which is not connected to the reading comprehension. But in the short dialogue, it's like, did you hear about so-and-so got murdered? What? That's crazy. They're talking about it, right? And at the end, it's like, well, I hope they find him soon, or else it's going to be pretty scary for me too. Or she says me or for us. And then I continued. I was doing the translation work for it with Kaneko, and I just wrote, did you even hear what you just said? You're such a bitch. It's always about you. You know someone got murdered, right? You piece of shit. Like, I just typed that out. And Kaneko is always like reading other parts of the thing, and then she finally gets down to it and just cracks up, and we have just a fun time writing that sort of thing. I want to write a Japanese book that has the worst sentences ever. Just like so hilariously. I honestly think what I'm going to do is, because writing a book is so 2000s, I'm going to probably do a video series called Horrible Japanese or Japanese from Hell or one of those things. I already have the Japanese from Hell book series I've been working on. I think I'll just make it into a video series. I think I'll put my energy, I could take a month or two and write a video series fairly quickly and get the content out and not deal with a book. A book is so much work. I right now, the last 4 books that I've planned are all kanji from Zero books, and Chinese from Zero is also super close to coming out. I'm not working on that one. That's someone else. I don't know how much of involvement I'll have on the final version of that, but I'll definitely have to be involved with that. But right now, anything that has a book idea, I'm putting towards making into a video course. Am I coming to Croatia on Japan Day? No. Russian from Zero. Yes, I would like Russian from Zero too. Bon courage les Français, c'est vraiment pas évident à apprendre. Mais bon, si tu appris les japonais, les français, c'est, I think I have to do les français et l'argent faisable pour toi. Okay. So let's see. Bon courage. Les français, c'est vraiment pas évident à prendre. Prendre is understand. Evident must be evident. Vraiment is very. I don't know what bon courage means. Courage, obviously, probably. But, bon, si tu as appris les japonais, les français, est largement feasible pour toi. Maybe you're saying feasible for you. I don't know. Am I a Terrace House fan? Never watched it. I don't want to boost my dopamine level. I'm enjoying this live stream so much. I'm bummed that there's no mags later. Dude, it's fun. I would do it, Mark. You know me, but I know I'm going to be too sleepy at that point. Please give me one more week. Hiroshima Ben from Zero. Now, Nico, I don't think I'll be doing any other dialects. I think Kansai Ben is literally the one that makes sense to do because it's so key to Japan. The other ones are not as key. We'll find out. Bon courage. Good luck. Bon courage. Courage. Bon courage. Why am I quitting AV? You'll have to watch from the beginning of the video, but AV is a adult video for the record. I didn't want to put quit porn into the video title because I think YouTube wouldn't like it. They're not going to like it anyway. Good luck. French is not easy to learn. However, if you learn Japanese, French is clearly doable for you. I see. So faisable is feasible, meaning doable. Okay. Pour toi. Yeah, I figured pour toi was for you. And I knew mais was but. Man, I really want to get back into French. Up to book 4, what's the highest JLPT you could take? My guess is 4, maybe 3, but 3 I hear is a huge jump. I actually don't know. I've been looking at, I have an N1 grammar book that I've been looking at. Now that I'm not watching YouTube when I eat, I'm finally picking up some of the books behind me. And one of them is an N1 grammar. And there's a lot of grammar that I don't use from N1, like oyobanai. It's funny because one of the things I read in there, we did in the Kansai dialect video. And I knew it because we did it in the Kansai dialect video. It's the moment that you did something like ie ni kairu nari. It's nari. U form plus nari. And I never had used that. I know another way of using nari, but it didn't mean that. So I already knew it because we did it in the Kansai dialect. That's what I'm talking about. The Kansai dialect videos actually teach you way more than just Kansai dialect, because what people tweet is real Japanese. So if you're going through a bunch, I think we went through, I'm trying to easily 5-6 tweets per video. So there's a lot going down. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm getting pretty tired. Yeah, now explain how you go from ha, faire to faisable. Do not know. I mean, seems like every verb in French is irregular. So you wouldn't usually use oyobanai, but nari is said on TV and it's used in books all the time. Yeah. The funny thing is I've heard the ni obanai. I think it's not, was it obanai or was it obanai? Oh shit, I thought it was oyobanai. I gotta look at that again. I was kind of casually looking at it. Ginger Guidance says, tweets are so hard for me to read. For the record, tweets are hard to read. I would say 90% of tweets are complete shit. It's just people with a very inside, either they're talking completely to themselves and they don't know how to talk to other humans, or they're in a game community and everything they're saying makes no sense. Trust me, the longest part of making those PowerPoints beyond the designing of it was and still is finding a tweet that's decent to learn from, that isn't weird. Now I purposely take tweets that have mistakes sometimes too. If I like the content, I let the mistake ride because I love to explain mistakes a lot. I'm a big fan of that. Most N1 grammar will show up in all forms of Japanese media, including anime. Cool. I'm in book 5 beta. Oh, this is Lizzie. I'm in the book 5 beta, and I recommend you'd get most of N4 from books 4 and 5. Wow. N4 only, huh? That makes me feel sad. N4 is such a low level. It's such a low level. David Williams says, Alex A. Dude, it's been 30 years since I studied French. Okay, cool. My college and high school cussed for saying bikumaku using it in Japanese, said that it's racism, but I don't know, but I know it's not. And you even said that. What is racist in Japan? Wait, how is bikumaku racist? What is racist in Japan? There's definitely racism in Japan, but I don't know if it's related to Big Mac. I have no idea. How do I find that TikTok video Arisa made? Well, I happen to have it right here on my phone. Let me see if I can play it for you guys. Her username is Rissipoo, Rissypoo, and if you just search for Arisa from Zero, it'll show up. All right, so it's 33 seconds. Here it is. Okay, I'll put it. Okay, here we go.
If any of you guys are really interested in learning Japanese, my parents have written Japanese from Zero books 1 through 4, kanji from Zero, katakana and hiragana from Zero, and the combination of that book. And if you also were interested in learning Korean, my dad also has written Korean from Zero 1 through 3. And if you can't afford the books, it's fine because my dad discusses all the content and teaches Japanese on his YouTube channel, Japanese from Zero. And don't you guys want to be able to watch anime without the subtitles? I swear it changes the whole entire experience.
It's pretty good, right? Let's see here. Let's go to TikTok. I gotta avoid watching too many things. There's too many cute girls on. That girl was cute. Too many cute girls. There's so many cute girls on TikTok. I'm sorry, just come on, man. That's not Arisa. It's just some cute girl. Some Korean girl. Okay, I gotta get off that. Arisa. She has 38,000 followers now. Here's her big video. Has 518,000 likes.
but it's really quite simple. You get the little thing, you put on the ball. You don't smack it, you just push it down. And I don't know why so many people confuse like how do you open a lemonade bottle, but it's really quite simple. You get the little thing, you put on the ball. You don't smack it, you just push it down. And
that's her breakthrough video.
if any of you guys
That's pretty much it. There's another video where she does a Japanese nursery rhyme that has 36,000 hearts. That was her pretty good too, but it's everything else has like, a few thousand or 100. Here's one that she made today. I don't know what this is. And I'm demonetized. And I'm getting copyright strike by Arisa. I am proud. I've always wanted her to be big on social media, and I always told her you could be bigger than me because you're a cute girl. I'm not a cute girl. Michael, am I quitting YouTube? I'm not quitting YouTube. I was quitting watching. And no, I'm not quitting YouTube for TikTok. I don't watch TikTok either. I just don't mindlessly watch stuff like I used to. George, how about anime from zero? There is a guy I know named Ken Cannon who has a series called Japanese Through Anime, and I don't want to really tread on his water, but we have talked about making something together. So maybe we'll make something together. I don't want to tread on his territory. I am now watching this 2 times to catch the live. Well, listen, guys. I don't know how long I've been going. 35 minutes? Is that? No, I don't believe that. How long have I been going, guys? How long is this? Updates on my hairline. Nothing's changed. It's still. I just wear a hat when my hair's looking bad. I still am balding in the back. Still same. There's the update. Bastard. You can still be a cute girl. Look at all the virtual YouTubers out there. Someone asked me about Cure Dolly again, and I was trying to say I think the content's good. I just don't like the delivery of the content. It's freaky, creepy. I don't like it. I'm not saying that my content's delivered any better, but at least I'm a real human being. I think Cure Dolly has definitely really, really got a grasp on some cool concepts. I like them. Everyone that I've watched, just like I think I've watched 2 or 3, are good. But the only thing another thing I don't like maybe about Cure Dolly is Cure Dolly comes in with this real definite. I know it's a very small channel, by the way. I don't know how big it is, but it's tiny. And me talking about it here is going to make it. Actually, no, this is Polyglot George, so whatever. Not a lot of people watching. But Cure Dolly is just like, here's something you don't know. And I don't know the accent. I can't do the accent. Here's something you've never heard about Japanese, and I am the only one that knows it. It is awesome. And I am the only one. Every other textbook is wrong. And this is the real truth behind insert grammar point here. Cure Dolly. That's the only thing I don't like. It's a little bit, it might even be true sometimes, but I'm pretty sure you're not the only one that thought of things. I think of a lot of things, but I don't spend any video time. I'm going to claim this right now. I don't think I spend any video time going, here's something that only Japanese from Zero does. Even though there's a ton of things that only we do. There's tons of innovation in our books in Korean. And I call it book tech, but it's really grammar tech. There's a lot of things that I've developed that I've seen people copy. But you know what? Knowledge is knowledge. It's going to get out there. But I don't want to claim it. That's why you don't ever hear me say the from zero method. That's what I hated about AJAT. I hated that they had given it a name. They gave listening to a lot of native material a name, and then using Anki decks and mining stuff. I mean, I get it, but that's what people were doing already that were really intent on learning the language. They were already doing that. I had already been recommending forever to listen to native material. I had already been recommending don't listen. I've said it from years. I've said, don't listen to stuff designed to teach you. Rather, listen to the real stuff because your brain needs the actual speed and you'll find the patterns and it'll improve you. And from 7 years ago, at a minimum, I've been saying listening to native stuff in Korean helped me out a lot. So the fact that I don't like it when people try to brand something that's not a brand. It's like that. Where's that book? That Chinesey book. I've said this before. That Chinesey book. They did a TED talk. They teach Chinese characters, right? They did a TED talk, and they're like, we have changed the way kanji is learned forever, the way that they talk, right? And I'm like, bitch, you're just teaching kanji the way it's designed. You see, we have one tree, but if you add a second, you now have the woods, and a third, you have a forest. Bitch, that is just kanji. I hate that. So condescending. It's so disrespectful to people. It's so disrespectful when you're just saying the truth of something. And I hope I don't sound like I'm on my high horse. I'm also biased as fuck because I create materials, right? So I don't like it. I don't like it when people try to make something a thing that's not a thing. You know? Kanji is a pictograph. Literally, that's what it does. And you didn't invent that, Chinesey. Chinese people invented that. And you know who else didn't invent it? Remembering the kanji did not invent splitting up kanji into things. That's why there are radicals. That's why there are bushu. That is exactly how kanji is designed, right? So, doesn't mean I'm not going to split it up in my book too, because it's a good thing to do. But I didn't invent anything. And by the way, in kanji from zero, if I could pull it off, I'm working on a whole new mnemonic system, right? Not just different mnemonics, right? A whole different way for different reasons to have mnemonics. When you see it, you'll understand it. But I'm not going to be like calling it the kanji from zero method. I'm not going to be like, our special, awesome, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. You know what? Because it'll be evident when you buy the book that it's good. And you'll give it a ranking on YouTube and people will buy it. Not YouTube, Amazon. Okay, I'm going to come down off of my high horse. Remembering the Kanji is a fantastic book. Not going to talk shit about it. There's a lot of work went behind it. And I even have copies of it right here. I've got Remember the Kanji and Remembering the Hanzi. I even got books 1 and 2. I have traditional and simplified. I have all of them. Haven't read them. I've looked through them. I know what they do. I understand. I read enough to know what they do. And I watched a fantastic video on it done by Matt versus Japan. So I'm not saying it's a bad book. Just saying I hate when people make a system when it's just really what people do. You know? Guys, don't you hate it when you're walking down the sidewalk and you have to crawl? I've invented a new thing that you can learn to do very easily from about age 1. It's called standing upright. Standing upright system, SUS. It's the SUS system, guys. And you can learn more about it at sus.org. And I've got a whole channel talking about SUS. It is the newest, best way to do a thing that used to be called walking. Sorry, I'm just checking the comments now. Jonathan Diaz says, yeah, remembering the kanji didn't invent it, but it made it easy as hell to be able to write them all. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think what they did was great. And all of the reasons behind it, I buy. How about that? I mean, I'm supposed to be biased because I have my own book series, right? But to each his own, right? Get your friends to watch Tokyo Bone Japanglish song. Okay, that's Lizzie talking to Zet Horse. Just because you speak Japanese doesn't mean you're racist. Quite the contrary. Savage. It shows you respect and appreciate their culture. John says, I've stopped Anki, too repetitive. I'm watching Japanese news and movies to enlarge my vocabulary. Yes. Anki, which I also did too for Korean, I realized was not getting me the results I wanted because it's not real. It does need to be real. You need to have memories and experiences really to learn a language. You study grammar, but if you don't immediately kind of apply it to something, you're kind of out, you know. That's the one thing I did like about the AJAT system. What I learned when I looked into AJAT, the concept of pull things from real media and put it in Anki. What a brilliant thing. Still not a system. It's not a system. I don't like any system that isn't teaching you Japanese. I want to be taught a language. I don't want to be taught how to learn a language. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's always researching methodology. Why don't you just actually do something? Why don't you actually sit down and learn some words? Why don't you sit down and make some friends on HelloTalk instead of talking about how I learned Japanese, the methodology that increases your retention and whatever. It's too much logic, theory. Just do it. There's a million ways to learn something. The best is to start and do it, in my mind. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about, for the record. This is all very opinion-based. I'm sure somebody can give me a lot more facts. I'm just saying it doesn't work for me. Jonathan Diaz says, whatever you say, I'll stuff love you, man. Don't know what that means. Okay. Ooh, message automatically held for a review, hidden by Incipital. I'm going to review this one. Really? I don't know. Bitching from zero. That wasn't a bad one. What do you think of the zero pronoun ga concept? Kami. I don't know what you're talking about. What is the zero pronoun? I have something. I think what you're talking about is what I call the one. So you say aoi no ga suki. I want the blue one. It's the. I mean, I've been doing that forever. If that's what you're talking about, where you don't actually say the thing, you say the word, the blue one, the one pronoun. I think is what I call it. I don't know what zero pronoun is. Everyone wants to be original, but doesn't realize it isn't about being original. It's about being genuine and endearing. You stand out by expressing your personalized version of your thing. Yeah, absolutely. You gotta. The thing is, I'm not reinventing Japanese. I'm just teaching it in a way that makes sense to me, right? So, and I'm not going to dub it a concept because that's just pretentious. It's just pretentious to want to own a concept. I own the name of the book, Japanese from Zero. All of my content in the book is my Japanese from Zero system, right? But I don't need to call it that. Anki is great if you need to tweak, but you need to tweak its settings a lot. You need to actually learn, you need to go to like a college class to figure out Anki. It's a lot of work. Also, someone needs to write a better Anki and get it popular, but it needs to work with existing Anki files. Also, you need to learn words in context first, then add them to Anki. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't disagree that I actually have a pretty good list of Anki things that I learned for Chinese. I put Chinese words in. What I did was I would learn something in Chinese and I'd find it in Korean and Japanese and I put it in all three together. And it would be stuff that I saw in the media. Whether I saw something cool in I don't put a lot of Japanese things in because I already know Japanese, but I'll put in a cool thing in Korean or a cool thing in Chinese and then I'll find the equivalents for the other languages. That's the most annoying thing in the world. The plethora of articles on how to become fluent are the biggest waste of time in your life. Yes, because normally they're a paid ad for Babbel. Okay? If you see millennial changes language learning, whatever, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. There's no changing. Rosetta Stone isn't revolutionary. Babbel isn't revolutionary. Duolingo isn't revolutionary. Japanese from Zero isn't revolutionary. They're just ways of learning a language. They're just tools that you use. What's revolutionary is when you put effort in and you take time out of your life and spend a couple years boning up on a language and making experiences and enjoying it. That's revolutionary to yourself. Okay? There's nothing new under the sun. In my opinion. I don't have any data to back it up. It's all anecdotal. Okay? I've done all of those systems. Rosetta Stone, I did with Russian. Don't remember shit. And it was just picture after picture after picture. And the way that they sell it is like, used by the FBI and CIA. Yeah, so you were able to sell it to somebody. That doesn't mean it's a good system. The fact that, like, I bought shit before that was bad. But if I just say, purchased by George Trombley, author of Japanese from Zero. It doesn't make it good. I bought a plenty amount of shitty books. Okay, just because I bought it doesn't make it good. Okay. Rosetta Stone marketing. They don't even teach you writing. You don't have a teacher you can talk to. None of that. Chinese from Zero, ETA is kind of hard, amazing. Andy, I think I'm getting something by the end of October from Justin, the main author of that book. I think he's working with a guy named Jack, who's fantastic, a Chinese guy who's also fluent in Japanese and is a linguist. So I know it's going to be fantastic. I just haven't seen the final product yet. But I've been telling him we want it out for November simply because we'll get the most sales for Christmas if we do. George, how long would you have to immerse in Japanese to get to Matt's level? I don't even really fully understand Matt's level, Mallow. And Matt has been doing it for many, many years. It wasn't a year. Matt didn't get fluent in a year. He did all of the things that traditionally people do, and then he buckled down and did AJAT. If you watch his videos, he talks about it. And everyone that he interviewed, go watch his interviews. Literally one guy's like, well, I took it in high school for all these years. And then I did this this time. And then I thought I found the perfect one, Japanese from Zero, one guy. And it was great. So he went through all of Japanese from Zero. But I didn't feel fluent. And then I did AJAT. It's like, dude, again, bitch, you did all the other things that you're supposed to do. And then in the end, you ramped it up. And you took all of the things that you learned and you applied it to a higher level of watching a bunch of media. You should have been watching media all the way through, but maybe you weren't. So that guy's a nice guy. I know he's a nice guy and I respect him, but I'm just saying, bitch, you still did all those things. Show me an AJATter that only did AJAT, that literally started with nothing and did it. And what is AJAT? They tell you to go through textbooks. So I don't know even what AJAT is or MIA. I don't know what it is. Sorry, I shouldn't rant on this because I shouldn't rant on this because I don't fully understand all of it. All I know is that when I was in the AJAT community, it was toxic. I didn't like it. It was a religion, and it was a religion. I didn't like it. I don't know what's up with MIA, missing in action, mass immersion approach. I haven't looked at anything since they started it. I know that they relaxed some of the if AJAT was so great, why did they rebrand it to everything? I mean, congrats to Matt for actually taking people's criticism and fixing it. And now they don't recommend that you do all of the kanji up front. You do a certain subset of commonly used ones, and he's relaxed some of his things. But find me someone that purely through just watching TV and news without studying grammar I'm back. I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know how long I was gone. I was hardcore going out, though. This is what I was saying. I wanted to be fair. You can make a system and teach that system if you didn't use that. I didn't learn Japanese with Japanese from Zero. I went to school and I lived in Japan. and I made friends. And then I continued learning. I learned kanji through flashcards. I memorized poems. I watched Japanese cartoons, not anime. They were more like cartoony stuff, like Crayon Shinchan and Doraemon. So, and every girlfriend I ever had was Japanese. Okay, and then I learned Korean, not through Korean from Zero, but I went to a school in Korea. Over the last 7 years, I've been to Korea like 15 times. I've spent like a year and a half total in Korea, I'm guessing, over and over, just staying there, taking classes. And then I would use it and I would make friends and I would go out of my way to make sure I use the new grammar that I learned. I didn't learn it with Japanese from Zero or Korean from Zero, right? So I'm not saying my quote unquote method will get you fluent in Japanese, but it will definitely make it easier. That's all I'm saying. You're going to have to learn it anywhere. Somewhere. You're going to have to learn something somewhere. And even if you do AJAT, even if you do MIA, even if you do PCP, even if you do cocaine, whatever drug you need to make you feel like you're learning Japanese, you still need a basic grammar course. Really. And even Matt recommends that, by the way. I don't know why so many people don't understand all Japanese all the time is not exactly that. So. MIA goes hand in hand with Japanese from Zero. Most people switched to MIA. What do you mean switched from Japanese from Zero? Because Japanese from Zero only goes up to a point. And you have to understand, MIA does not teach you Japanese. MIA or AJAT does not teach you Japanese. It's a system for learning. It's a guideline for how you learn. It's you get native sources. It doesn't say use these native sources. It doesn't teach you how to conjugate a verb. It doesn't teach you the difference between similar grammar concepts. You have to figure that out all on your own. So, of course they're compatible. Japanese from Zero and MIA are extremely compatible. But MIA is, in my mind, just not a thing. It's just a guideline. It could be done in one document. That's all. That's all it needs to be. My God, I'm going to regret this video. I don't want to engage that community. I just don't want to engage it. Because when I engaged the people that use the Genki book by saying ru verb is a bad naming convention, I was called a baby rapist on Reddit. Because I said there's no such thing as a ru verb. It doesn't make sense to say ru verb. Because all of the verbs, every category of verb, whether it be ichidan, godan, irasharu type verbs, all of the verbs can have end in a ru. Any form can be. When a verb ends in a ru, all you know is that it's a verb. That's all you know. There are other ways to distinguish verbs that make more sense. That's what I teach. So I don't like engaging with communities because just like you, by the way, do me a favor. If someone says Japanese from Zero sucks, just roll with it. Don't defend it. They're not going to come your way anyway. If you like the book, just be happy for yourself. Okay. I find Japanese from Zero is too simple. It goes through hiragana, it's progressive way, and it's not designed for you then. It's not designed for someone that already knows hiragana. But good luck explaining that to somebody that is high on their horse about where they learn Japanese. I don't care. Man, I'm feeling bitter right now. I don't know why. I don't mean to do that. Sorry. You can't snap people out of their. If you tell someone that whatever you say about it, first of all, I don't like to throw shade on competition, but MIA and AJAT is not competition. That's like, let me think about this for a second. Okay, let's think about this for a second. Let's say that I wrote a guidebook on exactly how to clean your house. I put soap here. You do a mix of soap and vinegar here. You use a lint-free towel here, and I give solid facts about how to clean your house. That's Japanese from Zero. Okay? But if you have someone like Marie Kondo, for example, I think the way I don't know exactly, but I think her method is more like, do you love it? Does it make you happy? She doesn't actually teach you how to clean. She doesn't actually show you how to clean, as far as I know. That's MIA AJAT. They teach you a mindset. They give you a guide somewhere, but they don't actually give you any of the meat. You have to fill it in yourself. I think that's a fair assumption of what it is. So it's not one or the other. It's not like, should I eat a hamburger or should I eat pizza? It's how do I lose weight? What kind of foods can I eat? That's MIA and AJAT. Whereas I'm literally cooking food up in the kitchen for you. I'm like, hey, you look hungry. No, I made this for you. This really, it's the Amazon button. Here, look, it's delicious. Eat it. Whereas that's not, there's no meat on the AJAT MIA button. You know, there's no button. There are people trying to change that. Nuke Marine, he's actually trying to make materials, I believe. Andrew says, MIA is, in my opinion, a powerful outlet for people to become more motivated to learn more diligently, which is always a good thing. I don't disagree. Absolutely. If you can do MIA or AJAT, you're amazing. You can do it anyway because you're hardcore. That stuff's hardcore. I agree. Yeah, it's not about the method. I don't know why. I'm not bitter. I didn't like the community more than I think that's my biggest problem with AJAT. It was too much religion. And it might be better now. I haven't been in there. So I know Matt was aware of that. Matt is a very self-aware man. I actually love Matt. Any arrogance that Matt has is due to his age, not due to him being an arrogant guy. He's just young. And I mean, he's like, what, 20, 21, 22, something like that. I think he's pretty young. He might even be older than that, but I'm not sure. But he's still pretty young. Jonathan Diaz says, it's totally not competition. I swear someone is messing with you with PMs or something, LOL. No, I was in the main chat room. There's nothing with Japanese from Zero. I was in the main chat room. And people were saying they were directing things towards me about drinking a red pill or a blue pill or whatever. And oh man, when he figures out whether he's wrong, when we good, it's so much of that. And then there were people from that room PMing me, you're right. And they were being more direct with me. I do agree with you there. It was PMing on some things. But that was just people saying, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to do this AJAT thing and I'm going to come back in 6 months. 6 months has passed. No one's come back. And I'm going to show you how great I am. Well, you know, I don't care how you do it. If you do it, I'm impressed. If you do it, if you're motivated to learn a language, it doesn't matter what book you have. The book that I learned with is not up behind me. It was shit. Complete shit. But I learned Japanese because I was motivated. Doesn't matter how you learn. You can learn any way. F1 for Help says, it's the 21st century. Nobody remembers what persuasion is anymore. Just call someone a name to resume your dopamine cycle. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm guilty of this too. I don't know why I get negative when I think about AJAT. I purely think it's because of the community. I actually respect. Trust me. I was donating money through Patreon to two AJATers, one of them being Matt and the other one being Nuke Marine. Until when I quit the community, I was still donating. But then it always automatically re-added me to the Discord, and I didn't like that. So that's the only reason I quit supporting them was because of that. I actually love what Matt's doing. I think he's a fantastic guy. I also love what Nuke Marine is doing. I learned a lot from those guys. I learned about the I plus one, everything you know plus one. And I put that into the book 5 stuff. You know, we had a very strict way of writing sentences in book 5 that you couldn't use any word that we hadn't taught yet. But the way AJAT was working was when they recommend what you put into your Anki, you put in everything that you know plus one word that's new. I love that. So that gave me the freedom to not have to use a word. They could figure out what the word is because it's the only thing that they don't know in the sentence. So I did that. And I really appreciated that from them. And I think Matt prepares his videos very meticulously. He scripts them out very well. I think they're amazing. And if you go look at his RTK video, I commented. I said, this is the greatest video I've ever seen. And I totally bought into it. It's amazing. So I don't have any animosity like that, for the record. I just don't like it. I've already said why I don't like it. Done. Big Perm 586, who I trust, by the way, Says, yeah, Matt and Nuke Marine are trying to change the cult-like following of Asia. I think everyone should just find out what works for them and learn on their own way. Absolutely. Do what you need to do. Retro Nick says, George, thank you for teaching me silver bells to conjugate Godon verbs. Saved my sanity. By the way, it's not just for Godon verbs. It's also for Ichidan verbs. I will watch the Kansai dialect. We sing it in there, and I talk about it in there. I go a little bit more. I think I give a little bit more detail than maybe I've done in other videos. I'm running out of voice. Are the Sapporo interviews where you showcase your excellent Japanese coming soon? Ha! The only thing holding them back was we had another. All of the Sapporo videos have been released. The only thing left was the interviews. There's like 39 independent videos already made. They needed to all be translated. So they were sent to the guy that used to work with us, who didn't get back to us, and then I had to fire him. Now we have a new guy that's working for us. He's supposed to be the next guy doing it. He just finally got the video collaboration folder like 2 days ago. So, yeah, I definitely want those up. It's already a year and a half ago. I want those up. I don't know if it's showcasing my excellent Japanese skills, but I am speaking Japanese. Calvin. Yes, I remember. Calvin. He's another age adder. Yes. He is still learning Japanese. I think I talked to him or I saw him. I don't remember if I actually talked to him. Drunk Wizard says, I just started using book 1 of JFZ, and it's by far the best resource I've discovered. It was fate. I stumbled upon your other channel. Ha, fate. Jonathan says, see you next stream. Yeah, you know what? Take it easy, George. Positive vibes. Yeah, I think I'm going to go too on that note because Jonathan's leaving. There's no reason to be here anymore. I'm going to leave while we're strong. Summing it up, I'm not quitting, but please watch the beginning of the video. I quit watching YouTube. I quit watching adult videos, and I quit listening to the news. I even quit listening to music with a lot of strong elements as a side result, not on purpose, but I started being more into the chill stuff. And it's affecting my life in a very positive way. And if you watch earlier in the video, there's a couple things that I've still got to work on that I just now. Luckily, I realized early that a lot of concentration is a good thing and a bad thing, depending on how you wield that sword. And I'm gonna take this last question. George, do you have any tips on learning more than one language at a time? I'm not done with Japanese, but I can't wait to start learning Korean and French. Just start. I think the brain can handle it. You'll have a little bit of overlap that confuses you. Like for some reason, when I was learning French, my Chinese was coming out, and a lot of times my Japanese was coming out when I learned Korean. But when I learned Chinese, my Korean was coming out. It seems like the last language that I learned would always be affecting the new language that I was learning. But eventually, your brain settles it out, and it makes the pathways work properly. So that's it, John. If you're not motivated anymore, maybe you need to stop watching porn. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching. Roll the outro music. We don't have any outro music, guys, because this is a live stream. See you all next time. Bye-bye. I might still be here. I'm waiting for the stream to catch up so I can say goodbye. Clicking end stream in 3, 2, 1.